It's The Burt Show with Burt, Kristen, Davi, and Mo. Hear new episodes every weekday and the weekly top 10 on the weekends. Real funny.
Ooh, Davi's busted. Got to go to the TikTok principal. Busted. What'd you do?
Am I in trouble for being, quote, too dangerous, or is TikTok sexist as hell? We'll discuss. So I had a really hilarious video I posted last week. I ran across this guy's, you can stitch people's videos now on TikTok. It's this really cool thing where you take like a snippet of their video and then you can post your own like 55 seconds on the backside talking about why that person's wrong, basically.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's starting like beef between people. You can take a bit of their words.
Yeah.
Sometimes out of context, but whatever. In this case, it was not. And so people use it to like roast other people, basically.
And context really is overrated.
It really is. But
Who needs context?
So much more entertaining, Mo, when things are out of context than when in context, obviously.
Yeah, come on. There's no time to be mature.
So this grown man, OMG, it's Nike Finesse on TikTok, posted a video, and he's basically like, to all my girlfriend's friends that come up to me and say, you better be good to her or else. Or else what? What are you gonna do? You're gonna not like me? You're gonna lay your hands on me? Because I will smack the hell out of you. And he starts talking about how he's gonna beat up his girlfriend's friends, right? So, and he's like, what, are you gonna not like me? Oh no. Like, he's just making fun. So I stitched with that, and I told him, like, I won't not like you, but I might kill you. And apparently you can't say I will kill you to someone on the internet. That is news to me, all right? News to me. And it's not fair. So I did pull the audio, but I'm actually like worried about playing it because you guys, I got so mad at TikTok for removing my video that I was like, fine, you won't let me be sufficiently stabby for the circumstances? I'm gonna take this video to Instagram. And I put it on Instagram, and it was up for like a whole 5 hours. And then I logged in to see my thousands of likes, because on TikTok it blew up. It blew the F up. I had over 200,000 views. I had 40,000 likes in less than 24 hours. And then TikTok removed it. And everybody's going, where is it, Dobby? Where is it? And some people are like, thank God I saved it because that S was funny. So I was like, thank you. I don't know what TikTok problem is. So I appealed it. They said, you're too dangerous for TikTok and for the children. And I was like, how come this grown man is allowed to talk about slapping the hell out of women? He's allowed to talk about inciting violence on women, but I can't incite violence on him?
Well,
and somebody was like, well, you took it too far, and his whole thing is inciting violence on people, and it's funny. And I was like, my whole thing is inciting violence on people because it's funny. Like, you will not tell me that he can do it and I can't. And I was like, maybe my verbiage was too strong. I did break into a Broadway song from Chicago. I think it was lovely. But when I put it on Instagram, and then Instagram, I logged in to check my likes, and it was this giant exclamation point with a circle around it that was like, you've been removed. No, absolutely not. Like, Instagram was so mad at me, and I was like, oh my God, it got taken down off Insta and TikTok. What the heck? I did give Tommy the audio, but Bert, I don't want you to have to be on the phone with the suits today. So is it okay if we play this?
No, we have a weekly Davi meeting always. It's on the books
it's
now.
Already
So, it's on the calendar, so it's no more extra time.
Okay, well, it's nothing political. I was talking about my love of violence and Broadway show tunes, all right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
When you start dating a girl and her best friend says don't hurt her or else? Or else what?
Well, I can't speak for all women, but I'll kill you. I will kill you. Why do you think I'm watching all these crime shows and taking notes, I'll go to prison for it, too. No regrets. I'll make new besties out on the yard. We'll use all of our outdoor time to practice for the spring musical, which will be Chicago, because they just killed the menfolk in it, and it's our favorite. And we'll be like, he had it coming, he had it coming, he only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. Pop, six, squish, Cicerolicious, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes. Thank you. I just needed to get that out of my system. But apparently, I can't wish violence on this guy, but he can wish violence on anybody.
Mo?
I think I see it. I think I got it. It's like you said, when these other people do it, they laugh, they think it's funny. When you did that just now, I believed you. Like, I felt it. Like, I was like, she really killed him.
Somebody actually did comment that they're like, I believe her. They're like, I don't know if it's the lack of blinking or just the tone in her voice, because I realized I didn't blink the entire video. Like, I don't blink not once. And somebody was just like, it's very believable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Cass?
You're being unfairly targeted, because I've seen this dude's video and I've seen other women stitch it with, like, I guess they're interviewing a mass murderer or a serial killer or something. Like, it's old audio, and they're literally talking about stalking a guy, bringing him to their apartment and killing him, and none of those get taken down because it's all the same audio, though. But because you were original and you had your own audio, they hate you for it, Davi. They're just trying to keep your creativity down.
So
That's facts. It might have also been the knife I was holding.
Okay, well,
you have to consistently, consistently be violent for them to say, hey, this is sort of his brand. But since you aren't violent every single time, they were like, she really might be crazy.
Okay, so I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. I need to watch some more Snapped and more things and just become consistently violent. But, I don't know if I want to live in a world where you can't tell strangers on the internet you're going to kill them willy-nilly. Like, it's really not fair.
The Burt Show.
Just one little side road here. These cliches that women say to guys, please handle them with care. So, because she initially said, you better be good to my girlfriend or else, which is a cliche, right? So a couple of weeks ago, Tiffany and I are at this place, Chateau Elan, and they had this really big, beautiful lawn, and everybody's drinking wine on it, right? And we both get up to go to the restroom, and my girlfriend, I believe, is aesthetically more pleasing than I am. Okay, I can say that. We're on different levels. It's fine. So she's dressed to the notch. She looks beautiful. Her hair is always flowing. I swear there's somebody behind her with a fan.
She's got him on retainer.
I mean, she's just looking so cute, and I look like me. So we're walking past these two girls that had been drinking wine clearly for the day, and I don't even know who they are, but they come up to Tiffany and they start complimenting her on her dress, which is great, right? And then they turn to me, not knowing her, and just say, do you have any idea how lucky you are?
Wow.
And I said, the first time didn't even bother me. I said, I do. She's beautiful. And they're like, no, like, you're really lucky.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. She's great. No.
I got it.
Look at her. You are so lucky. Like 3 times. And every time all I can hear them saying is, do you see how pretty she is and how sorely average you are?
But what? Okay, let's try to flip it. What was their sexuality? What if they were really into her and they were saying you're a lucky man? Like, wouldn't you take, if a dude said to you you're a lucky man, wouldn't you be like, yes I am? But like,
not 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, right.
You gotta relax.
That's a good point.
Okay, I get it. And then I just kind of like walk of shamed it to the bathroom by myself. You guys, you have a good time. I'll see you later.
Yeah, 2 times is too many.
All right, so the email reads this morning, and if you guys are having a problem in your relationship or some conflict going on, you think the Burt Show can help you out, our Burt Show fam around the country, way smarter than we are, hit us up at theburtshow.com, and we'll read your email. All right? I love these that are coming in about tension over weddings, because it just makes me crystal clear that I really just want to either elope or do something really, really small. Because for the last, 15 years doing this show, inevitably there's so much tension. I told you guys yesterday, I know somebody now, I read of somebody, the bride who's getting married this weekend is breaking out in stress hives. She's taking Benadryl all week because she's so stressed out about the wedding. I don't want that. So this one has to do with the date. My fiance and I were supposed to be married in April. We had a date set, everything was bought, and the wedding party was picked and already aware the date a month ahead of time. We had to postpone 3 weeks prior due to underlying circumstances. Who knows what those are? One of my bridesmaids messaged me 2 weeks prior to the wedding date. Apparently, she didn't catch the memo that the wedding had been postponed. So what she said really shocked me. She let me know she was getting married herself on the date of my wedding. She said the reason being that was the pastor was only available for that date, and she was running out of time to have her marriage license signed. She asked if I was still having mine that day. Mind you, she had already agreed to be one of my bridesmaids for that same time, in which the dress was already bought for her to wear and everything. She said she was so worried when she knew, capital letters, I was planning to have my wedding on the same day. I informed her the misfortune of postponing. Then she went on to ask if I still wanted her to come to be fitted in her bridesmaid dress. We continued to chat back and forth. Her colors were the same as mine, as were a lot of the decorations I'd previously shown her. So during the same conversation, I was asked to come to her wedding. When I showed up to her wedding, I realized the bridesmaids' dresses she'd chosen were almost identical to the ones I'd chosen. Color, fabric, style. I attended her wedding with a smile and was truly happy for her on her big day, but I'm still quite irritated about how she went about planning her wedding and choosing the date, thinking I was supposed to get married on that same day and having already agreed to be a bridesmaid. Now I'm having second thoughts about allowing her to be one of my bridesmaids. She did not ask me to be one of hers either. I do want her to attend my wedding, as we had been friends since middle school, but I feel like she doesn't deserve the role of bridesmaid anymore. I want to know what you guys think, blah, 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 blah. She wants to know if she should uninvite her. Should she remove her from the wedding party? How do you handle it? 1-855-BERT Show. Okay, there is wedding code here that I am just not familiar with. So, ladies, you want to take over on this one?
I've heard a lot of stories about she used the same kind of flower arrangement, and I'm always like, there's only so many flowers, guys. And then they're like, well, they used a similar color to my dresses. Okay, there's so many color combinations you can do. It's not fair. If somebody saw your stuff and was inspired by it and ended up being similar, it's fine.
Is it?
It didn't take away from your day. It is to me. It's a non-issue to, I remember going to somebody's wedding and their playlist was almost the same as ours, and my husband was like, they're using this too. This is their first dance. This is crazy. And ours was very vintage, so a couple of our friends were like, they're so similar to yours. And I'm like, there's only much music in the world, guys. I really don't care. I'm glad if somebody was inspired by something. So this is a fight that girls have that I don't personally relate to or understand. But if the fabric and the dresses are exactly similar and the colors and everything else that she's saying, it is a little weird. I wouldn't say uninvite her, though. I would say be unaffected.
I feel like you're
apathetic.
I feel like you're a little more chill than most women would be here. I mean, I see women panic when they walk into a club and there's one random woman in there that has the same dress that they have on. They freak out about that. So I can't even imagine bridesmaid dresses and wedding dresses and stuff like that. Cass?
I think the only issue is her friend's wedding came first, because then it kind of ruins the surprise and it looks like you copied her. People get really excited about the quote-unquote original, which they're not really original ideas, but you feel like they are because you came up with them. Mm-hmm. So I get the impact of that. I would probably not invite her to be a bridesmaid, because also at that point, friends don't do that to each other either. So even if you're unaffected, if I were one of Davi's bridesmaids, I would see her wedding and see the creativity that went into it, and I wouldn't copy that, because that's her special moment and that's her special stuff. And even though she wouldn't care, as her friend, if I didn't know that she didn't care, I wouldn't do it. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think if you're a top tier friend enough to be a bridesmaid, you don't do stuff like that.
So does this really take away from somebody else's wedding? It's your unique day, but if somebody else already has used the colors before you, does that make your day any less special?
So is that what the issue is?
I don't know.
She ended up postponing and having to come second, so now she thinks anybody that went to the friend's wedding is going to come to hers and be like, oh my God, Sandy used all the same stuff as Janice.
Groundhog Day,
no,
been here,
actually,
done this.
Sandy did it first, Janice was second. I guess I get it. I guess I kind of do, yes.
Please continue to send in your emails about weddings and tension. So it becomes more and more crystal clear to me as we plan our wedding that we elope or just go to the courthouse and just get it done there.
The Bert Show. What's trending now? Cassidy knows. She's in for Kristen on maternity leave. It's the Burt Show's entertainment buzz.
Naomi Campbell's surprise announced on Instagram yesterday that she has welcomed her first child, a baby girl, at the age of 50. The post said, "A beautiful little blessing has chosen me to be her mother. So honored to have this gentle soul in my life. There are no words to describe the lifelong bond that I now share with you, my angel." It's a picture of her holding little tiny baby feet. It's unclear who the father is and whether she gave birth, hired a surrogate, or adopted the little one. But she's publicly said for a long time that she's wanted to be a mom. She's the godmother to a lot of her friends and family's kids. And she said that she's, as recently as 3 years ago, I'd love to have kids. In 2017, she said, "I think about having kids all the time, and with the way science is, I think I can do it when I want." And Hoda Kotb teared up when she was talking about it yesterday because she became a mom recently at the age of 52. Bert.
It's really beautiful any time anybody has a baby. Let me just preface that by saying this. So I run into a dude a couple of weeks ago while I was shopping. I haven't seen him in years, right? And to be honest with you, he looks pretty run down, really run down, right? And I'm like, "How's everything going?" I didn't want to say to him, "Man, you look like crap. What's going on?" So I'm like, "How's everything going?" Because I know he's had some stressful years when it comes to work also. And he's like, "I'm so tired, man." And I could see it in his face, man. I could see the lack of sleep in his face and the exhaustion. This dude's like 54 years old and his wife just had a baby. And he is just so incredibly tired right now.
It's hard, man. I'm telling you, I'm sure Kristen's going through it. It's so you're so excited, but then also you're so miserable. There's just nothing you can do.
It's exhausting at any age. It is tough. It is difficult work, man. But there is something about being 54, 55 and being a first-time mom or dad. I think I told you guys when we had Hayden, we were in the hospital when a woman was delivering her first set of children, twins, at 47 years old. So she went from 0 to twins at 47, Davi.
I have a friend that said, "I want to be grateful, but I can't feel anything." She was just so tired. And I was like, "Oh, bless your heart." And she's 30, so it's not her.
Mo.
I'm very thankful for my friends because I've certainly had moments where I'm kind of sad that I don't have a kid yet at my age, and then I talk to them and I'm like, "Oh, this ain't so bad."
Enjoy the freedom.
Enjoy that sleep,
I
buddy.
told you guys yesterday, I'll call my friends that don't have kids at 2 in the afternoon on Saturdays and Sundays, and they sound all groggy. "Oh, I just got up." "Oh, it's 2 in the afternoon, man. No kids."
Didn't Cassidy play some audio from Seth Rogen yesterday or the day before where he was like, "None of my friends with kids experience the happiness that me and my woman experience when we're eating cold pizza and smoking weed on a Saturday morning. We don't have to wake up at noon. We don't have to wake up kids."
Agreed. It certainly has its place for some.
So Gwyneth Paltrow's company Goop is being sued by a man in Texas. It's actually a class action lawsuit. The Vajayjay candle that she famously sold for $75 on the Goop website in January. He claims it exploded. So we now have an exploding Vajayjay candle. He claims it had been sitting on a level surface, nothing nearby, no drafts in the room filled with smoke. And of course, Goop is saying this is unfounded, this is frivolous. They're just trying to get a big payout from a press-heavy product. Davi, I hear you may know something about these candles.
Yes, something. So that happened to me just a month or two ago. It was a fine candle until it got halfway through, and now the wick is explosive.
The same exact. It's the Gwyneth Paltrow one.
Yes, it's the Vajayjay candle. I didn't buy it. Cairo, I guess, bought it, and then Cairo was like, "This smells like garbage." So he's not a fan of Gwyneth's nether regions. So he was like, "Do you want this?" I was like, "I'll take it. I'll check it out." And I rarely burn it, but I put it in my new studio because my studio foam smelled like just studio foam. And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to make it smell nice in here, like Gwyneth Paltrow's Vajayjay." And the thing nearly exploded and burnt down my new studio. So I totally get it. It happened to a woman in the UK, too, I found out after the fact. So now there's a third person.
So it's class action.
Yeah.
Also, I have questions. Isn't Cairo notoriously cheap and trying to save money, and he bought a $75 candle. What's that all about?
I don't know.
Creepiness.
Okay.
The spiral being viral. Yeah.
And the fact that it didn't smell good, does it come in like different scents, like fresh days and not fresh days or something?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
After the gym days, what is this?
Marathon, post-marathon.
Chrissy Teigen suffering more backlash after the cyberbullying scandal. I'll tell you who dropped her, and that's coming up in your Entertainment Buzz on The Burt Show.
The Burt Show.
A lot of morning shows will ignore the a-holes. Not us. We embrace them at least once a week, and we give them a stage. Cassie, who is questioning if they are the a-hole?
I cannot wait for you guys to hear this one. All right, here's what this guy writes. I've been married to my wife for 3 years now. Great relationship, great marriage, no real issues. I've had some problems with her mother-in-law, but really only the normal ones that happen in any marriage. Her mother and my wife, when she was fairly young, so she's in her early 40s right now. She has 2 other children besides my wife, and they are both younger. For some reason, my mother-in-law has caught baby fever again. I believe it's because my wife and I had our first child a year ago. She loves our child and always wants to take care of him. We're both great with that, and obviously, she's amazing with him, and it lets us rest. Now, I've been a sperm donor multiple times. I figured out that I had a very high count, and I'm a healthy guy, so I'm always able to give some. It seems that this was somehow relayed to my mother-in-law by my wife in their conversations. Lately, I started to notice the mom talking about how she wants another kid and how she's thinking about it. She said that after speaking with the doctor, she still does have time to have another if she begins the process within the next year. After that, she began seeking for donors. She's divorced, so she's not able to have another kid the natural way with her husband because he doesn't exist. The other week, my wife told me that her mother wanted to speak to me. She said that she insisted it was just me and her. So I met my mother-in-law at dinner that night, and she seemed anxious and nervous. She wasn't speaking much. Finally, she began to talk about how much she loves our child and how wonderful he turned out to be. I agreed and thanked her. She then told me about how she's wanting another kid and has been trying to find the appropriate donor.
Oh, no.
This scared me as I knew where it sounded like it was going.
Mo's over there. Look at Mo.
I've
No,
been
sir.
shaking my
No,
head
no.
for 2 minutes. You
Stop
guys didn't
this.
catch this until now.
Make it stop.
She then brought up how I'm a frequent donor and that it's obvious that I have good genes. After that, she popped the question, and she just came out and asked if I'd be the donor.
Come on.
I was silent as I didn't know what to say. She could tell I was weirded out, so she tried to explain her thoughts. She said it's because I have good genes, our child turned out great, I have a high count, so it increases the chances, and she said I could have as much of a presence in the child's life as I wanted. She promised that we would get legal advice, so I wouldn't have to be financially involved, and we wouldn't have to worry about that. I could see the child a lot or not at all. She said that she had already talked to my wife about it first and already had her permission.
What?
Huh?
What?
No.
I was so weirded out at that point, I didn't know what to say. I told her I'd think about it, which I didn't really mean. I just didn't know how to say no, and I was panicking. So I went home, and I was ready to talk to my wife about it, and she was excited, and it seemed like she assumed I was going to say yes. She asked me how it went, and I told her I was totally weirded out. The smile on her face went away quickly, and she said, "Wait, what do you mean?" I explained why I was weirded out by the scenario. She started to get upset and told me I was being ridiculous. She's pointed out how selfish it was because I can give my sperm out to strangers, but not to her mother, who we know can love her children and desperately needs it. I told my wife I just couldn't do it. It was too weird and scary to me. My wife started crying and went away to call her mom. Since then, my wife's been quiet around me and her mom hasn't contacted me at all. I'm not sure what to do now. I've never thought about getting divorced or leaving my wife. There's been no signs that pointed to something like this happening. I'm really at a loss at how her mother actually asked me to do that, and my wife is not siding with me on this. So am I the a-hole because my wife's mother wants my sperm to have another child and I don't want to give it to her?
Right. It's the kind of thing where if you surround yourself with weird enough people, you'll become the weird one. Because everybody else thinks differently than you do. But I love these weird family trees. So if he were to say yes, mom has a baby, then his wife becomes what?
I think his wife stays
The baby's his aunt. The baby's his aunt and his daughter.
The baby is the aunt. Do I have that right? I
yeah.
always get these all messed up.
No, the baby. If the mom has his baby, then the wife becomes the half sister of that baby.
There it is. There it is.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not saying this right.
But then she's a half sister of her. She's the half sister to her husband's child.
I don't.
See, this is why it shouldn't happen. What's confusing about that? What does the wife get? I don't know. I don't understand.
So I think we can agree everybody except the husband in this scenario is the a-hole, right?
Okay, so
Yes.
there was one part that stuck out to me, though. Just hear me out.
Oh, God.
The wife made a good point when she said, "You're willing to give your gunk to strangers to have
Yup.
children, but not to my mother."
Yup.
Well, mom
yes.
can just go in and get
Yes.
it from the bank.
Yeah, the answer to
Right?
that is yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he's not going to.
What's the problem?
He's helping
Keeping it
strangers. She said instead of my mother who desperately needs it, she doesn't desperately need his stuff.
All
She
right.
can go get other stuff.
That's it. We can move on. They all live on a-hole Avenue except the husband.
I appreciate you trying, though, Cassie. I did. It was a reach. It was a reach.
The Burt Show.
All right, as I said earlier this morning, as I am sailing to the end of the internet like I do every single day looking for content for this show, I ran into this story and I'm like, I bet you this guy is going to be Davi's a-hole of the week. And when I looked at the schedule today, I'm like, nailed it.
I am not predictable. Don't you dare, sir. I gave Tommy options, and he chose Joe Rogan. I also was like, should we talk crap about Airbnb? And it's like, those were the two things trending yesterday. So it was either big giant D-bag or like talk about Airbnb, which I kind of love. So I'm torn about it. But I'm not going to like make any assumption. We're going to discuss this today, okay? And then I'm going to read some tweets to you guys. But I'm going to try to keep my personal feelings out of it.
All right, Davi, this also doesn't have to be a choose your own adventure. We can get to Airbnb later in the show.
Okay.
We can be double a-hole day.
Wow.
Yeah,
The whole
crazy.
theme of a-holes. That's
Yeah.
crazy. All right, so what happened was yesterday, Joe Rogan made comments about straight white men not being able to talk due to woke culture on his podcast, which, just a reminder, his podcast is acquired by Spotify in a $100 million deal, and he has over 11 million listeners per episode, and he can talk about literally anything. Like, I remember a few weeks ago when he was like, don't get vaccinated, that's crazy. So his regular 11 million listeners every episode, he's sitting there saying, you guys, straight white men can't talk, nobody's listening.
You can never be woke enough. That's the problem. It keeps going. It keeps
Right.
going further and further and further down the line. And if you get to the point where you capitulate, where you agree to all these demands, it will eventually get to straight white men are not allowed to talk.
Right.
Because it's your privilege to express yourself when other people of color have been silenced throughout history. It will be, you're not allowed to go outside because so many people were imprisoned for so many years. I mean, I'm not joking.
No, I know.
It really will get there. It's that crazy. You know, we just got to be nice to each other,
All
man.
right, so that's a joke, right? His theory is that straight white men won't be able to walk outside because of the history that they have. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say dominate. What's the word I'm looking for?
Oppressive?
Maybe.
Yes, the oppressor.
The oppressor.
The
They have been
oppressor.
the oppressor
Yes.
in all of history, that things will start to even out and they won't even be able to walk outside the house.
He said that, and then he said, and when his friend on the podcast laughed, he said, I'm not joking. Do we need to play the audio again? Did everybody
No,
hear that?
I heard
so, Bert, when you said he's joking, right? I'm gonna take his words and say he's not. So you guys, I mean, imagine Joe Rogan not being able to talk. Like, honestly, that's a win for humanity. Like, just ladies in your cars, listening on the podcast, the Bert Show podcast, Cassie, everybody, I just want you to imagine in your brains Joe Rogan in a red Handmaid's Tale cloak with his little bonnet. He's not allowed to make eye contact. He can't leave the house. He's not allowed to talk. Just imagine it. Don't you feel warm and fuzzy inside?
Now, Joe Rogan does come with his own disclaimer, because when he made those stupid comments about the vaccine a couple of weeks ago, remember, like the next day, he's like, chances are pretty good when I'm doing this podcast. I'm drunk. I'm high. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a guy that has opinions. So I think the same disclaimer has to apply here.
I guess my issue with him, all right, he said this dumb thing yesterday and it just makes me cackle. Like he gets dumber every week, it seems like, but I still think this guy's going to be president one day and I'm scared. So like I listen and I try to listen with a devil's advocate ear and enjoy him, but he never invites anybody on his show that challenges him. Every single goober he invites on his show just agrees with him and placates to him, and I'm like, there's so much credibility would have been lent to what he said yesterday if the camera panned over and there was a person of color or some kind of marginalized person in the room with him that would challenge him, but he doesn't invite people on his show that are going to challenge him like that. So I can't help but think he's a D-bag.
So, of all the issues going on in the world, this is at the top of his list for a podcast downloaded over 190 million times. Like, I'm confused as to what exactly does he want to talk about? Like, what didn't he get out in the last 85,000 years of all of this time that only white men's voices have mattered? Like, what does he want to get out? I'm confused.
I don't know what his topic was. And I'll be honest with you, when I listen to his podcast, and it's not often, I'm not a regular listener, I enjoy it. Like, I listened to the whole Dave Chappelle interview, and I thought it was fantastic. But I did too. But would I align myself with his beliefs every day? No, thank you.
Mo, to execute your point even more, a lot of tweets agree with you. Like Anthony Oliveira yesterday said, "I am being silenced," says man whose face and voice I have to see and hear every GD day against my will across a suite of apps and media platforms. It never stops. And I'm like, yes, I don't actively search him out, but I am inundated with Joe Rogan every day. And it's like, this is the guy from Fear Factor that made people eat buffalo balls. Is this really where we are, Tiger King and Joe Rogan? I'm disappointed in us, America.
The Burt Show.
The Burt Show's culture quiz with a twist today. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks now. It was a request from a listener, Mo.
Yeah, it all started really when Romeo, our producer, came to us with a U.S. citizenship test and to see if we could pass. And, well, I didn't. I didn't do too well. So one of the listeners had my back and was like, Mo, you need to turn the tables, get your confidence back, and give the gang a black culture test, which I did a couple times. I came in here and gave you guys questions about black culture. And y'all did all right. Did okay, not too bad, not too good.
You're being kind.
I think Cassie got a couple, Davy got a few, Cassidy got a few, Bert, I don't think you got any, but outside of that, wasn't too bad.
I'm not even allowed to drive down the same street where the cookout is being held.
Well, today you get a little bit of revenge because we're flipping the tables again, and we're going to go 1 for 1, right? I'm going to give you guys some questions about the culture, and you guys are going to do the same and return some questions to me. Right. And we're going to see how good I can do under the pressure.
So Mo asks the white folks a question, then all the white folks get to pile on Mo. That sounds fair. Okay.
That's where we at. It's all good. I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, I'm all lined up. Should we go first with a question to you, or would you like to continue the tradition by starting things?
I set it off.
Okay.
I will set it off. Not a problem.
You just got to pick somebody. First, and again, you have to answer something. I don't know is not an option.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay. All right. Let's see who I'm starting with. Cassie, let's start with you.
Okay.
If you are outside playing with your friends, what time do you need to be in the house?
By the time it's dark out. No, by the time the streetlights come on.
Okay, I'll take it. I was going to ask the judges, but that's good. Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
all right, I'll do that.
Yes.
Damn, now it's pressure on me. Okay, come on.
Take it to the cookout. All right, I'll start one if you don't mind.
Okay.
All right. Now I got all of my questions yesterday from one place. You guys remember the website Stuff White People Like?
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Okay. So my questions are referenced from the website Stuff White People Like.
Can we just point out you are a white person, but you have to consult a website?
Well, and if out of the 250 things on here, 245 pertain to me, so I knew I was in the right place. Okay. All right, Mo, from the website Stuff White People Like. If one would like to meet a lot of white people, one of your best bets would be to go on a blank trip. Blank is the practice of skiing sideways on one ski.
What? Snowboarding trip?
Yes, white people like snowboarding. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Well done.
Thank
That
you.
is a
Thank
trick
you.
question. Skiing sideways on one ski. It's like with one foot. Who does that?
It's an Olympian to do this.
The explanation made perfect sense to me.
I think because you got the answer right, what we do is we promise not to invite you to the white person cookout because it is flavorous and full of raisins.
All right, who's up?
All right. Bird, this is on you.
Bring it.
In the infamous scene in Boys in the Hood, a shotgun is produced and the dreams of a promising athlete are taken. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character yells the name of this person. What was that person's name?
Jerry Maguire.
That's a different movie. He yelled, "Show me the money," in that, not a name.
My bad.
The answer is Ricky.
Ricky. So he did shout Jerry Maguire in.
No, that wasn't it.
Okay.
No, he never shouted Jerry Maguire. He shouted, "Show me the money." What are you even talking about?
He said Cuba Gooding Jr. That's the only name that I really.
Something told me to give you that one too. I just knew it. Who's up?
White culture question?
Yep.
I got one. All right, Mo, I'm trying to give you an easy one, okay? Last year, we all had to learn a new skill using YouTube tutorials. You, Mo, were given the Cup song, made popular by Anna Kendrick in what famous 2012 movie?
Oh, man. Oh, damn it. Mean Girls?
I mean, it's a solid guess. It's wrong, but that's
Oh, he's only 10 years off. It's Pitch Perfect, but you were so close.
I was there. I was right there. I was so close.
I will say this feels good.
Why?
Revenge. Cultural
A little bit of
revenge. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I had one of my best friends, this is a true story, was almost kicked out of my grandmother's apartment because he wasn't aware that there are two things in a black person's bathroom that you never touch. I'll take either one, Davi. Name one of those two things.
Medicine cabinet?
That is wrong.
Two things.
I'll even give you another guess. One more guess. Come on.
The little potpourri thing? That makes it smell good.
It's close. It's close.
Candle?
The answer, yes, a candle and the guest rag. You never touch either one of those. And he lit the candle and washed his hands on the guest rag, and my grandmother legit wanted to kick him out of her apartment.
I was going with scented products, okay?
Why is it called a guest rag if you can't use it?
Yeah.
It's decoration. It's stupid.
Okay.
It don't make any sense, but it's just for decoration. You're not supposed to touch it.
Yeah.
I never would have got that. Oh, great. Okay.
All right. Who's representing white folk?
I will.
Okay.
All right. This is finish the lyric. All white people know this, and they sing it in bars. I only need
I
the
got
next
this.
line. Red Solo Cup.
That's
I
it.
like that Bert gasps like he knows. Of course he knows it.
He got excited for knowing it.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I know a white question.
Give me that one more time.
Red Solo Cup.
Red Solo Cup
It rhymes.
in the middle of the truck. All dressed
That is
in black.
close.
Black. That's not.
It's just Mary Mac.
Oh, my bad.
Red Solo Cup. I'll fill you up.
Let's have
Oh,
a party.
It's Toby
What
Keith,
song is
man.
that?
Toby Keith.
Toby Keith.
Oh, all right. Let me do some homework. I'm gonna be ready for the next round.
See, I know what the problem is. White people are always filling the cup up. Black people are pouring one out for for the
See,
homie.
that's what it is.
Which is very
That's what it is.
different.
Super
Our cultures
deep.
are different.
Super deep.
The Burt Show. What's trending now? Cassidy knows. She's in for Kristen on maternity leave. It's the Burt Show's entertainment buzz.
Well, the deals just keep dropping for Chrissy Teigen, and we just learned that Bloomingdale's walked away from a deal with her at the 11th hour because of this whole cyberbullying scandal in which Courtney Stodden revealed that Teigen had encouraged them to kill themselves in a private Twitter message when they were just 16 years old. The Macy's and Bloomingdale's are owned by the same company. And Macy's appeared to drop her Cravings by Chrissy cookware line this week after the story came out. And then the Bloomingdale's thing, they were just hours away from signing a contract with her. She was going to host a big promotional event for the store, and they pulled the plug on Monday because of the toxic press. So it looks like maybe she's being canceled in the eyes of people wanting to work with her.
Yeah, and I like Chrissy Teigen. I really do. But, you know, just writing the words, go kill yourself or take a dirt nap or something, comes from such a place that I didn't know that she really had in her. And if you have that in you, I think you really got to do some soul searching. Davi?
Yeah, like when I see messages like this or even get them, I'm like, this person's very lonely. They're isolated. They don't have anybody to yell at. They needed me to yell at. I guess I'm glad I could give them that. But like, what hardships was Chrissy Teigen going through at that point to be picking on a 16-year-old that's a teenager? And like, all of this happened. I'm pretty sure we're in Mental Health Awareness Month, and all of this came out about Chrissy Teigen encouraging someone to take care of themselves. You know, like, I don't like to say suicide trigger warning, but like, I'm walking a suicide awareness walk in November. Like, I'm very much involved in this, and I don't understand saying this to someone else.
No?
Yeah, those type of insults definitely say more about the person who's saying them than the person they're trying to attack, I believe. And it's scary because there's a lot of people who have the kind of platform that she's had, and they won't be humbled in this manner, and they'll get to continue to act like that when you think about it.
And it is really difficult sometimes to do exactly what Davi's saying here is like, think with empathy when somebody is striking at you like that so forcefully and saying something so nasty. It is really difficult to dig up the empathy to go, that's a person that has gone through so much darkness in their life that they are here, and this is the way they are getting it out of their system. That's the truth. It's just very difficult to absorb in the moment.
And to not take it personally if you're on the receiving end. Davi, to hear that you're kind of getting stuff like that breaks my heart. I feel like that's just so hurtful and hateful.
It's been a while, and like, honestly, it takes a long time to develop the thick skin to deal with that, but I can't imagine getting those kind of messages when I was 16.
Oh my
God, I wouldn't have been
right?
anywhere near having the thick skin that I do today.
Yep.
Demi Lovato, big announcement 4 hours ago on Instagram, said that she is changing her pronouns to they, them. So no longer should we refer to Demi as she. And here's what she had to say on Instagram.
With that said, I'll officially be changing my pronouns to they, them. I feel that this best represents the fluidity I feel in my gender expression and allows me to feel most authentic and true to the person I both know I am and still am discovering.
They continued, I'm still learning and coming into myself. I don't claim to be an expert or spokesperson. Demi was on the Joe Rogan podcast last March where they discussed being fluid and pansexual, and said that I think the way that she put it, this is the hardest thing about changing pronouns is rewiring your brain when you've called someone that for so long, and I want to make sure that I do that correctly. But they said, I'm doing this for those out there that haven't been able to share who they truly are with their loved ones. So I respect that. I want to share that. And I just want to say, please forgive me going forward if I slip up, because that's a rewiring of my brain there. And I'm sure it will be for all of us.
I have struggled with this also, man. I want to be respectful. So if I were talking about Demi Lovato dating, I would say they are dating Cassie Young, correct?
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
They said this, or it is. I'm going to have to rewire my brain for sure, because we talk about Demi a lot on this show. So that's the latest. Yesterday, now Mo, I'm going to see how you feel because we just did the culture quiz. Are you a fan of or aware of Charles Grodin, the actor? When you heard that he passed away yesterday, were you like, oh man, I loved all his movies?
I am not going to lie. I don't know who you're talking about.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, Charles Grodin passed away yesterday at the age of 86. Now, granted, he's 86 years old, and a lot of his bigger projects were a while ago. Some of the stuff that he was in, he was very comedic, Master of the Deadpan, The Heartbreak Kid, Midnight Run, Beethoven. Kids of a certain age will remember him as the grumpy dad in Beethoven, and that was...
You remember the dad?
Yeah.
I knew that was going to be the one. I was like, get to Beethoven.
All right. Yep, I'm back.
Yeah, super funny guy. I think he was also in, what was it, The Great Muppet Caper, which some of us grew up with. And his son said that he passed away at his home in Wilton, Connecticut, again, at the age of 86. So that's pretty sad. And here's something that I'm super excited about, but I feel like this is such a tease because we don't know what's really going to happen. Tommy, are we out of time?
Yes.
I'm going to share it in the next one. Chris Rock has teased a project that we are all going to want to know more about coming up in your next Entertainment Buzz on the Burt Show.
Yes.
Good tease.
And I'm very concerned. Very concerned. I read this story today. Very concerned. He's taking down one of my favorite celebrities, and if he does, Davi, it's your fault. We'll get to that in the next Entertainment Buzz.
What?
Yep.
The Burt Show.
Let's backtrack to yesterday, though. Like right around this time, Lindsay called up, and we had Ryan Lil on with us as well. He's the singer-songwriter from Charleston, and his thing is that he can write a song for you in 7 minutes. So Lindsay calls up yesterday, and she tells us that she would really like him to do a song for her to her husband of 20 years that she wants to tell she's leaving him for her best female friend. So if you missed this, in 7 minutes, Ryan turned around this song, and then I'm going to get Lindsay on for an update.
Well, it happened just the other day when my best friend found out I was gay, and then she took my breath away. Oh, my best friend came on to me, and I know she was meant for me, but what will my husband say? My husband of 20 years, he's really gotta go. Can't have any man inside of this home. I spilled the LGBT all over my family. Please don't be mad at me. Oh, I want a divorce. It can't be you and me. You've gotta pee where I like the V, and I hope you will understand one day I'm just a little gay. Can we still be friends or not? Did you think my girlfriend was hot? So do I, and now she's mine. I'll spill the LGBT. My best gay friend and me are joining up in this community. No straight men were harmed in the making of this song, except your husband. You can bid him farewell. I spilled the LGBT all over my family. Please, nobody come after me. Thank you.
I like this.
So good. I love him.
All right, so that was yesterday. And according to Lindsay yesterday, she texted her husband. This is where it got a little awkward for me and maybe a little on the mean side. It's like she texted her husband to say, hey, you want to listen to the radio right now? And I wanted to get the fallout from that from the last 24 hours. And I also wanted to ask her this. Hey, Lindsay.
Yeah.
100%. Was your story true yesterday, or were you making some of that up?
No. 100% true.
Really? And you call and you text your husband? Because at first you said, I text my fiance.
I didn't know how else. Like, if I'm going to put it on the air, I might as well completely out myself.
Okay. So are you engaged to your girlfriend at this point? Is that how that slipped, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
We're
much,
sensing a theme here.
so much slippage. Okay, so all right, and looking back at this, story is 100% true. You swear on that. So you are engaged to your girlfriend now before you even told your husband yesterday in song that you are getting divorced.
Correct.
Ooh, woo-hoo-hoo. What did the last 24 hours look like for you?
He called me mad.
Nah.
I don't know if I could say the P word, but he was, and I get it. I really, really do. He said he's more mad that one, and I fessed up about the whole engagement thing, but he's more mad at the radio instead of telling him to his face. He said it was petty and it was cowardly, and I do get it, John. I do get it. I mean, he made a good point.
But did he like the song? Yeah, I thought it rhymed really well and stuff.
He got the message.
Say, if there's anything I can say, I don't think anyone's going to get told they want a divorce any other way. This goes down in history.
He probably married you because you're very unique, and you're unique in divorce also. So you've been consistent.
But here's where it gets funny. I barely got any sleep last night because we were up for quite some time talking.
I bet.
Here's where it gets funny. He flat out told me that she apparently went and told him that she had a crush on me, and he was like, all right, well, I don't care. Go ahead. You guys have fun. That's kind of hot. I had no idea of this in any way, shape, or form. 2 years ago, he opens up a grinder.
A grinder?
I don't know. What's a grinder? I guess it's called a grinder. Dude, he pulled up his freaking profile from 2 years ago.
Wait a second.
And there he freaking is, a member for 2 years.
Hold on a second. So he has been dating dudes and going out on dates on Grindr for 2 years?
The past 2 years. And his theory was behind it, if you're going to go get yours, then I have every right to go get mine.
All right, I got to process this. So hold on a second. So your girlfriend goes to him. And I know, now you sound mad. Oh, we got to get Ryan back on. We got another song today.
He needs a song. Yes, 100%.
All right, so he says that, look, if you guys are going to do this because you're getting all flirty with each other, then I can do the same thing. So he goes online and starts dating dudes to get back at you, even though you hadn't started dating yet?
Yep.
Or at least he didn't know you were dating.
Well, no, hold on. This was 2 years ago. So he would have already known through her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was thinking.
He would have already known through her. So he's like, well, if she's getting hers, then I'm going to go get mine.
Wow.
It's a different kind of petty.
Yeah.
This is so much LGBT is being spilled. It's amazing.
Right.
So much.
Now, what city is this going on in? Did you say Harrisburg yesterday?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, man. You guys are fun.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Amish country is? What?
They should have a parade for you guys right down Main Street in Harrisburg.
And a reality show.
There usually is one, but it's been canceled because of COVID.
Oh, damn it.
So after he gets angry at you yesterday for calling him out on the radio more than anything and things settle down, then you guys talk about it. He's okay with the divorce now, and he's settled with you being with a woman?
Well, he's still not okay with the divorce. He's basically said, I don't see why we can't stay married. We got married at 18. So we've been together for such a long time and have such history. And he's like, I don't see why we can't stay married but still do our own separate thing on the side. He's like, as long as it's not the same sex, it's not a different sex, it's not cheating. So if he went out and slept with the female, that would be a no-no. Or if I went out and slept with a dude, that would be a no-no. I don't see why we can't stay married. We've been together for 20 years. There's no reason to divorce over that.
Well, is he? While I don't agree with some of his philosophies, is this a theory, or is this a plan that you might go for?
I told him I'd have to think on it a little bit because that's just a little. I don't know. I already felt dirty. I don't know how he feels.
I mean, you still get the tax break of marriage people. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're gonna have to break off your engagement for your marriage.
I know. He said that we all have to sit down and have a nice little powwow session.
Yeah, I think now is time for open communication. Now would be a good time, probably.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not against the idea. So after you get done talking to your husband, who's furious that this was all on the radio, he's furious, he calms down, he's like, well, okay, let's try to work something out. There's some halfway point here, like maybe we could just do our own separate things but still stay married. How does your fiance feel about your marriage?
She says that she plays that role of, well, you know you love me and you love me more than him, and you guys haven't done anything for the past, 3 years. Why don't you guys just separate and just come move in with me? It's healthier. You'll be happier.
So she's not going for this plan at all. She's like, nah, it's either me or him.
No. Yeah.
And would there be any idea in your head that, okay, you know what? Well, my husband's open to it. I don't necessarily have to be with my girlfriend. I can still be with him and find another woman?
Yeah. But, 5 years, I love this girl. And not only she's my best friend, I don't want to lose that.
Anybody?
That is a crossroads if I've ever heard of one.
I've never been speechless on this show before. You guys know I flap my gums for any little thing. This has got me all kinds of just speechless.
You've taken us down so many roads. I was ready to call you out for like this story yesterday. I'm like, this can't be true. But it's so complicated.
And
I think it might be. Yeah.
and then we got the sequel.
Well, I got to tell you, we need to check back with you next week because obviously you're going to talk to your fiance quite about this. Are you planning on all three of you getting in the room and talking about this situation?
Yeah, I told him it needs to happen, and I told her it needs to happen, and we all have to come to some kind of common ground with it all.
This is a full album, you guys. This is R. Kelly trapped in the closet again. This is insane.
Well,
way better than Three's Company, any episode I've ever seen.
Lindsay,
It went a lot better than what I thought it was. Like, when he came out and he was like, I'm really mad that you put it on the radio. And I'm like, but that's all you're mad about?
Because he's been on Grindr for 2 years.
I'm like, wait a second, hold on.
Well, we got to check back with you next week after all three of you guys sit down, and we got to get some kind of progress because I am dying to know how this all ends up, okay?
Okay.
And I want to thank you for calling us, and thank you for letting us be part of this.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. Anytime. Anytime.
You come back anytime.
Anytime, The Burt Show.
The Burt Show.
All right, somebody might want to check hell because it might be freezing over because at some point or another, early in my career in Atlanta, I said hell would have to freeze over before I move outside the perimeter. And there I was yesterday calling my real estate agent saying I need something outside the perimeter. Now, I've got nothing against outside the perimeter. First of all, I hate driving in Atlanta traffic. I will avoid it at all costs. That's the biggest reason. And the second reason is, for most of my life, I have suffered from FOMO. And I embrace my FOMO because I think life is short and you should stress out when you're not having a good time and everybody else is. So, for the longest time to me, outside the perimeter meant boring suburbs. But that's changed so much over the years, right? So I called my real estate agent yesterday and for a few reasons. The most major reason is that Tiffany, my fiance, her daughter, she splits time with her ex, and her daughter goes to school in Beaufort. Great school system. Crazy about their athletics up there, right? But she's traveling 3 or 4 times to drop her off from Sandy Springs, where we live now, up in Beaufort. So that's like 100 miles round trip. 3-4 times a week, and it is taking a toll on Tiffany. She's trying to start a new business also. It's a lot of time in the car, right? So that's the first thing. And the second thing, you know what? If I have to be 100% honest with you, I don't like the state of safety where I'm living at right now. To be honest with you, that I'm not feeling nearly as comfortable in my Sandy Springs community as I used to. So, and it feels safer to me outside the perimeter. And I got now a 6-year-old and I've got a soon to be 14-year-old to think about. So the idea doesn't bother me at all anymore, especially because outside the perimeter is not what outside the perimeter used to be, you know? Now you can live outside the perimeter and all have great downtown areas or bars or restaurants. So it was almost a little surreal yesterday. And I'm using the same real estate agent that I used to buy my house in Sandy Springs. So he knows me really well. So when I called him yesterday, I'm like, Jimmy! Looks like we're going outside the perimeter, Jimmy. He's like, no.
Saddle up.
No.
Prepare the horses.
So we're going to try to find something between where Hollis goes to school, which is Sandy Springs. That's where all his friends are, and Buford, which puts us in the Lawrenceville, Duluth-ish, Sugar Hill-ish, Johns Creek-ish area.
That's a lot of issues.
Welcome to the dark side.
It's a lot of issues because, frankly, I don't know my way around outside the perimeter nearly as much as a guy that should after living here for 20 years. I really don't. So they all sound like one city to me. And Cassie, I think, struggled with the same thing when you were moving way out to Smyrna.
Oh, it was like the apocalypse, the end of the world for me, because I just always envisioned living in like a sky rise with floor to ceiling windows overlooking the city, and I ended up in the burbs.
Right.
And I like it out here, and I've actually been house hunting too and looking further out, and I have discovered so many amazing downtowns that I think I was going based off where I lived in North Louisiana, which was suburbia, and there wasn't a lot there, and so I just kind of assumed it was everywhere. Downtown Woodstock is freaking amazing. Downtown Alpharetta, I love Avalon. Oh my God, Avalon's the best. Where else? Downtown Marietta, downtown Roswell. These places are amazing. And I'm visiting some of them for the first time, and I'm like, how have I been in Atlanta for all these years and not been to these cities? And they're incredible. They're full of creativity, unique restaurants, breweries, independent retailers, boutiques. Moving OTP felt like a death sentence when I was straight out of college, and now I'm like, let's do it, man. Right. I'm ready.
So Hollis's soccer team travels quite a bit, so I think I've probably seen more of Georgia over the course of the last couple of years than I have before. And when he would say, I got a tournament in Noonan this weekend, I'm like, Noonan's cool, man. They got like a cool downtown area. And like you said, Alpharetta would be on our radar. I just think we're probably going to be more up 85 than we are on 400. But all those areas now in Woodstock has come up to me before also. I don't know that I spent too much time in downtown Woodstock. Cassie, have you?
Yeah, I've been through there a few times, and it is just, when I went, seeing the life and everyone out and about enjoying the sunshine. There's a brewery there that we really love, hanging out at the brewery, at rooftop patios for restaurants, seeing all the boutiques with their doors open and like clothing racks outside. And I was like, I want to live here. Just going down Main Street, I was like, this is a place I would love to live and be able to walk to and be a part of.
Things have changed so much for me since my divorce, really, because when I got divorced, I was thinking, you know what, I want to move somewhere. I want to have one of those warehouse apartment type deals, where you got the garage door and it's all right there. You got your living room, you got your master bedroom, there are no walls. I love that idea. I love the thought of moving downtown, or maybe I'll go into a high rise in Buckhead. I ain't moving to Buckhead now. So it's all changed so much. I thought I'd be living near where Davi's living, which is, you're not in East Atlanta, you're in...
I'm in East Atlanta. It's
East Atlanta?
East Atlanta, yeah. It's a cool little area. I've got all the rooftop patios and all the things, too, and I don't have to go outside the perimeter.
Way out there. Now, Mo, do you even know in the 3 years that you've been living here, any of these areas that we're talking about right now, any of these on your radar?
I have no clue what y'all are talking about. This is a completely different language right now.
We
I know
lost him
Smyrna.
at all the issues.
Yeah. I was good at Smyrna. When y'all started going everywhere else, I have no clue. I'm lost.
So you got to remember, Mo moved to Sandy Springs because that's where the radio station is. So he's like 300 yards from here. And your triangle of doing anything really is kind of like Roswell Road, Buckhead, Sandy Springs, right?
That's exactly it. Once you get outside of Buckhead and Sandy Springs, I am done. That's this area I know like the back of my hand, but that is it.
What's funny is when I was in college, Sandy Springs was OTP. We did not go to Sandy Springs. It was so far away, like big energy. And now I live like beyond Sandy Springs and I love it. And I'm like, yes, give it to me. Who am I? If you told me 15 years ago, where I'd be like, you're lying. I want a different life. Like, move me away. Don't make me become that person.
I think
it's great.
I think 20 years ago, like when I moved here, Alpharetta was like playing the Oregon Trail, man. Not like that
Died
anymore.
Dysentery trying to get there.
Yes. Bert Show.
The Bert Show.
Want the high-stakes stuff? The believe the hype stuff? The criminally good, emotional roller coaster, can't believe what you're seeing stuff? You know, the good stuff. AMC Plus has it all. Obsessed with The Walking Dead? Dive deeper than ever with The Walking Dead Origins, narrated by the cast, before the new season premieres on August 15th. Want to be chilled to the core? Set sail with the North Water, a thrilling Arctic drama starring Jack O'Connell and Colin Farrell. Plus, uncover gripping true crime content ad-free and on demand. Expect the epic with AMC Plus. Sign up today at amcplus.com. AMC Plus, only the good stuff.
Our Bert Show family around the country can handle anything. So what do you got going on in your life that you need some advice for? Not from us, but from them. Go ahead, hit us up at thebertshow.com. In this case, she wants to know if she should ditch this guy or date this dude, right? Hey, friends, need help with that thing that you all do. Date him or ditch him. Or something like that is what she says. Basically, that's what I need to know. Do I keep dating this guy who I like a lot, or do I ditch him because he's disrespecting me according to my friend? I'm not sure if my friend is overreacting or if she has a point and I'm just blinded by the fact that I really like this guy. So let's go ahead and call him John. John and I met about a month ago. I was instantly attracted to him. He is gorgeous. And that was what instantly attracted me to him. However, he was just as perfect in other aspects. He's funny. He's insanely smart. He has a lot of friends and a really fun lifestyle. God, I hate guys like this. Just funny and great looking. Damn it. I mean, if I could order my dream guy from Amazon, it would be him. Well, John and I had been seeing each other for about 2 weeks when he asked me to go to a wedding with his best friend as his date. At first, I was so confused. Why would he set me up with his best friend? Turns out he only wanted me to pretend that I was dating his best friend. His best friend's ex-wife was going to be at the wedding, and his best friend really wanted to make her jealous. Well, I agreed to go. Now he's asking me to pose in some pictures as his best friend's girlfriend so his friend can keep up the lie by putting them on his Instagram account. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I haven't taken the pictures yet, but I did agree. My friend thinks it's gross and that John is disrespecting me by basically loaning me out to friends. I guess I see her point, but the other part of me thinks he's just being a good friend. I could see myself going over the top to help my friend in a similar situation. So what do you think? Is my friend right, or is John being a good friend? 1-855-BERT Show. Should she ditch this guy or should she date this guy? Y'all look so confused.
I full disclosure, I kind of fell off. Like, I didn't check out. I just got confused, and then I got more confused. But from what I can gather, she should be charging for whatever is being done to her.
So she's going out with this dude that she likes a lot, and he's like, I like you also, but my friend's in kind of a tight situation, and you're clearly hot, and you're charming. Will you go to this wedding as his date?
Yeah.
All right. And that would have been fine enough. But now he's asked, like, to take it one step further. Like, hey, John had such a great time. And his ex-wife clearly is jealous. So will you just put a couple of pictures up on Instagram of you and him having drinks or whatever? And her friend is like, that's too far. He's being disrespectful. Mo?
Not if she's getting Venmo'd for it.
All right.
I think she should be paid. Yes.
Mo?
Yeah, I think this is one of those situations where two things can be true. He is kind of doing what he has to do for his friend, even though it's a lot. It seems like it's extra, but at the same time, he is using her. And I'm with Davy on this one. Like, why would you even do this for free? Why would you let somebody like pawn you out like that? Nah, that would be weird to me, and I probably would ditch.
I don't know that it has to be a ditch situation. Why can't you just go, look, I didn't mind doing it one time for you, but the second time is kind of over the top. So, no, I'm not really into it. You still want to go out? Why can't they do that?
Accompaniment, escorting, $500 a night. Anything on my social media, $200 per post. All right.
Mo.
As a man, I feel like if he was genuinely interested in her, he wouldn't even put her in this position, though. Like, if I really like you, I'm not putting you on a fake date with anybody.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Taylor, good morning. You're part of the Burt Show. Ditch or date?
Ditch. 110% ditch.
Why? Why can't you just say, hey, I'm not cool with that?
No, so in this scenario, like, that's what he should use, like, his sister for. Like, hey, go out with homeboy, make his ex-wife jealous. Not your girlfriend. Because if they post all his pictures on media and his ex-wife sees, but then her and the actual guy she's dating post pictures, she's going to be like, wait a minute, what the heck is this? So then they're all going to look like idiots. She does not need to put herself in that situation.
This does sound like a situation out of a movie. Like, I'll set her up with my best friend to make the ex jealous, and then the two of them actually fall in love, leaving the initial boyfriend out of things. It sounds like it's right out of a Matthew McConaughey movie or something like that.
I think this was a Deborah Messing in movie at some point.
Was it? Okay. Everybody calling us saying the same thing. 100% ditch the guy, so no point in taking any more calls.
Get it? The Burt Show.
All right, Cass, so what is big chuggy energy? Bring it.
So chuggy is a term that Gen Z is using to mainly describe millennials, but it's an aesthetic, and it's not quite an insult, so I don't want anyone to get insulted. And it doesn't quite mean you're basic. So it's not really basic. It's not really uncool. It's just kind of in between those things as an aesthetic. And I'll give you a few examples. So the TV show Friends, chuggy. Anything with the chevron pattern, chuggy. Home decor from Target, chuggy. Adults who love Disney, chuggy. Gender reveal parties, chuggy. So I have a little quiz, and I want to give it to you guys.
Okay.
And we are going to find out if you are big old chugs or not.
I have never been in a part of my life like I am right now where being cool is so not important to me. So I don't know if that's chuggy in itself.
Well, no, that's actually very not chuggy. Like, not caring what other people think about you is big not chuggy energy, but wanting to be like part of the popular culture and the mainstream, trying too hard is chuggy.
Okay.
And I felt attacked when I saw this stuff because it's basically a checklist of things I like. But now I'm embracing the chug. I'm a chug. It's okay.
Bring it.
All right.
The
So,
juke.
It really does. It sounds like a word we can't say on the radio.
Yeah, right?
all right. Do any of you own a wooden sign in your house that says something like gather or family lives here or live, love, laugh, girl boss, but first, coffee?
Absolutely not.
No?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I don't shop at TJ Maxx, thank you.
Mo, do you?
David, you could have stopped that no. Yeah, I got like 2 or 3 of those.
Me too.
Big chug.
Me too. They're like more like motivational statements like, today I'm going to be happy and I'm good enough. That they're up.
Big
Love,
chug
live,
energy.
laugh.
Right.
Choose love.
Do you like Barstool Sports?
No. I think I have them blocked.
The two of you guys
I
do
definitely
not?
do.
Nah. I do.
Oh, what a
Yes, I really do.
Look at the chug.
Cougar is the new cougar.
Cougar.
I'm hucking a chuggy.
Do you have any clothing that references The Office or any other TV show? You know, like it says like Shroot Beet Farm or Rose Apothecary because it's Schitt's Creek or something.
Cassidy wants in on this. What do you got?
I have a tank top with Stanley from The Office, and I have a Shroot Beet Farms coffee mug.
One of my favorite T-shirts is from Friday Night Lights, and I've worn that thing for 15 years, so I am 100% chug. Yep.
I have a Schitt's Creek shirt and an Office shirt, but the Office shirt was given to me by someone that thought it was a feminist shirt because that's what she said, and it's not.
The
It's just from
intent,
Office.
the intent is not what makes you chug. Are you wearing it?
Yes.
Chug.
And I'm loving it.
Have you ever used any of these phrases? Adulting, doggo, good boy, I did a thing.
Like every day.
Adulting. I'm definitely guilty for that one.
Every time I do a thing, I'm like, I did a thing.
I think I'm chug free on this one.
You've never said to your dog, oh, good boy.
Good boy.
he's a good boy.
Yeah.
Or like, every morning.
You a dog? Yeah.
You gotta go, big stretch, good boy, get big stretch.
Do you wear slides with socks or long board shorts?
Hell yeah.
Me?
Hell yeah.
Doing it right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right as we speak.
It's
You're
energy.
chuggier than I thought.
It's a clean, chuggy sweep on that
For
one.
sure. We bit off more than we could chug.
If I say Starbies or Starbizzle, do you know what I'm talking about?
Starbucks?
I can assume.
Yep,
but no.
Chugler.
That was an assumption, though.
I've never.
Do you have a go-to Starbucks drink extra chug points if it's a frappe? Mm-mm. Or a frappuccino?
Nah.
No? Okay, no
Chug free.
there.
Chug free zone.
Don't go to there.
Okay, let's see. Do you like Fixer Upper with Chip and JoJo Gaines, or do you like the shiplap aesthetic for houses? You know, the boards on the wall. Oh, I'm venturing into non-chug territory for you guys.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
Is that the guy that's married to Zooey Deschanel?
No, it's Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Yeah.
Oh.
Chip and JoJo. Oh my gosh, I'm with you guys. Thank you, Chug, Tommy.
Just
You and
call
I
me
are
little-
chugs together.
I'm a little chuggy over here.
Have you ever used the term plant mom?
Oh, hell.
Tommy.
Damn it. It's like, it's new, though. I'm newly chug, if you will. This is like in the recent couple months.
Max chug.
Max chug.
So now you get it. And Bert and Davi, you guys are tied in first place for the most chug on this show.
We've reached our ultimate chug form.
This is America. There has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. So Davi and I have to have a playoff, a chug playoff right now.
Okay, here's one. Have you ever owned Uggs or Ugg-like knockoffs?
No.
No, dang it. We're still tied.
Have you ever worn flip-flops in the winter?
Oh, hell yes.
No, absolutely not.
Here we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen.
Chug champ is Bert.
Get it? The Burt Show. What's trending now? Cassidy knows. She's in for Kristen on maternity leave. It's the Burt Show's entertainment buzz.
So the county of LA is very upset with Vanessa Bryant. I'm sure you all know that she has filed a lawsuit against them because they took pictures at the gruesome helicopter crash that killed 9, including her daughter and her husband. And she now has amended her filing, saying she needs more time to gather information and conduct witness depositions. She wants the deadline moved from August up until February. And they say it's baseless and that she's going scorched earth. They say it's a very straightforward case. There's undisputed facts. Now she's turned it into a fishing expedition that's taking first responders away from their jobs, subjecting them to public harassment and threats. She did post their names on social media with like a red box around them. Said, pull them out of hiding like the roaches they are. She's definitely going after these folks. And they are saying there's no basis for an extension. Only government personnel and one friend saw the photographs in question. There's no basis for her lawsuit. Bert?
I know I'm going to be on an island by myself on this one. What they did was 100% wrong. It was gross. And they should be reprimanded, if not lose their job. However, I don't think she should have called them out publicly, man. They are getting harassed now. They are getting death threats. People have been showing up to their house. And it just felt... Although she was hurt and I understand it, it felt over the top inappropriate to me. Mo?
I'll definitely accept that I'm a bit biased here, but I feel like I can't have an opinion on anything that Vanessa does right now or has done because I've never gone through anything close to what she's going through. But in my mind, I don't know why they're spending energy being mad at her instead of being mad at the guy who caused the situation in the first place.
Yep.
Yeah, he should be fired for sure. I think we agree on that. I just don't. People are nuts, man. I mean, what they did was really, really disgusting. But you just don't know who's going to show up at that house anymore, man. Now their lives are really at risk. Davi?
I mean, they were really trying to make a buck with those pictures and trying to have bragging rights. And I know they're calling it scorched earth because it's a woman doing it. But, like,
I don't know
what would you do? What would you do if this was your family? And I kind of like that the absolute opposite effect. Like, they're being held accountable for their actions.
Davi, I think you make a good point. How many movies are out there in Hollywood of like men going scorched earth after their wife or their kid is killed?
Yeah.
And we love those movies. But if a woman does something like that, it's like, ooh, she's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, this is a project that I'm in on, Bert. It sounds like you might not be sure. Chris Rock has been making the rounds promoting his new role in a Saw film, and he gave this tease about a project he's working on, but I need more information.
There's this movie, The Holy Grail, with me, Dave, and Sandler that I'm working on. It's like, that's the Holy Grail. That's the Detox album we've been waiting for. You know what I mean?
Dave being Dave Chappelle, Adam Sandler, and Chris Rock in a movie together. I'm so in, Bert. What's wrong with this?
All right, I am holding Davi personally responsible for this project because Dave Chappelle is brilliant, talented. Everything he touches is amazing. I don't feel the same way about Adam Sandler. Everything he's touched the last 20 years outside of Uncut Gems is correct.
You can't
if he brings Dave Chappelle down, I will never forgive you, Davi. Never.
Okay. I'm with Bert on this one. I see your point. I see where you're going with this one. You turned me around.
He is a thief. Adam Sandler is a thief that stole $100 million from Netflix. He is a thief. And if he brings Dave Chappelle down to his level, you and I are done, Davi.
Are you still talking smack about Hubie Halloween? I will come to your house today and I will unsocial distance my fist from your face. Stop talking about Hubie Halloween.
My son and I were just talking about this the other day. We had a goal to watch 10 minutes. We weren't even going to watch the whole movie. Hey, son, just sit down and let's just watch 10 minutes of it so I can go on the show and tell Davi I gave it a try. We were finally done, and I said, okay, we can't take any more, right? And he's like, no, please, no more. I paused it. We were on 4 minutes. We couldn't even go 10.
It was really, it was tough to get through the first 10 minutes, okay? But around minute 12, it got really funny.
I bet. It was tough to get through the first 4 minutes. You and I are 6 minutes different here.
Bert, would it change your mind if they were doing a project that was not like a scripted movie? If it was like an unscripted, like comedian in cars getting coffee type of thing, would you be down?
Yeah, I think that's got more legs than Adam Sandler. He's not writing the thing, is he?
There's no information. I've looked, and it is so vague. So I don't know what's going to happen here.
If you think that the Sandman is in some way going to bring down the absolute velocity that is Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, then you're saying more nasty stuff about them than you are him. I'm sorry.
Chappelle is the GOAT, but Adam Sandler is the Death Star of talent. He has this gravitational pull, and he will bring everybody down. Kevin James used to be awesome.
He's the dingleberry on the goat.
In your next entertainment buzz, would you watch a show that's described as Game of Thrones with otters? Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up in your next e-buzz on The Bert Show.
You're on The Bert Show.
Her best friend's husband might be being inappropriate on Snapchat, and she wants our help to try to figure this whole thing out. Look, if you got something going on in your life, you need our help, you need some advice from Bert Show fam all around the country, just hit us at thebertshow.com and we will share it. Cassie has the email. Where are we going with this?
My best friend is a wreck and I need you to help her. She called me last night crying because she thinks her husband is cheating. She isn't sure with who or if it's even a physical in-person type of situation. She told me that her husband has seemed very cold and standoffish towards her. She tries to talk to him and he tends to brush her off because he's looking at his phone and texting constantly. She says he has no interest in intimacy with her and normally uses the excuse that he's too tired. However, as soon as he thinks that she's asleep, he goes into the other room and is back on his phone. The few times she's called him out for constantly being on his phone, he'll say that it's something urgent for work. However, when she confronted him the other night and he used that excuse, she could tell through his sweatpants that something at work must be getting him very, quote, excited.
Oh, come on, man. Can you really tell that?
Serious?
Some people love their work.
Can you tell that?
Wait, what?
Sometimes it kind of jumps out at you.
Oh, Bert. If you're wearing sweatpants.
I mean, she's really checking this guy's junk out while he's online, and he's so excited that she can literally see that while he's on Instagram.
Sometimes you don't have to check it out. Sometimes it's like, hello, I'm here.
All of a sudden you're like, oh, my eye, ow.
Okay. I'm just saying, in my experience, I've never been on Instagram and got myself a chub.
Me either.
Well, he says that he's at work. That's the problem. He says he's texting for work, and he's wearing sweatpants. By the way, ladies, buy your man a pair of gray sweatpants. Thank me later. So she was married once before and was cheated on, so she admits that she may be paranoid. However, I don't know that I'd feel any differently if my husband was acting that the way hers is. Obviously, she's extremely nervous and upset and doesn't know what to do or how to find out what he's up to. I told her to give me a few days, and I'll see if I can find out. She's trusting me to figure it out, so I'm hoping you can try to text him for me and get some information. What do you need from me? I have his email, phone, Insta, Facebook, Snapchat, all of it. Can we do it? Can we?
All right. Is she being a nosy ass friend, or is she being a good friend here?
She's being a good friend.
Both.
Yeah, she was asked for help. She's not being nosy, right? The wife brought it up to her.
So she's
the wife knows. The wife knows that Tammy's going to be doing some sleuthing.
Oh, okay. Well, then, she's being a good friend. If the wife told her to, yeah.
I just think this is one of those cases where you better be real careful of what you ask for, because you might get it. And then before you know it, it's the best friend here that was trying to do good. Now her friend is all mad at her. We've heard those a million times.
No, let's not lose the focus. If my man's, after I go to sleep, is getting up and going into the other room on his phone all the time for work and is always brushing me off and is always texting on his phone, that is red flag central. Like, we're in the red flag factory right now. They're just turning out.
Mo.
I don't even think it matters if he's cheating. If you're getting a chub off of Instagram, you need to leave a man off that alone. What is that?
That's where it goes sideways for me right there.
Come on, man.
I just learned what chuggy was an hour ago, and I just keep saying chub, and I can't.
Now, is she sure that he's on Insta getting these things? Or, I mean, he could be on adult websites or adult apps on his phone getting... Or what?
Wiki feet.
What's weird is it's not like she's withholding it. Like she wants to be intimate with him, and he's brushing her off, and then he's on his phone all the time texting. Like, I'd believe maybe it was like it could be an addiction to adult sites or something like that if it wasn't all day and he wasn't texting all day. That's the weird part.
I don't know. It just feels like a reach to me. Mo, it doesn't feel like a reach to you? I don't know.
A little bit. It does feel like a little bit of a reach, but I guess I'm torn, because in these situations I feel like it's a reach a lot, and then they're right. So I don't know anymore.
We've lost faith in all of our listeners.
I think any time that your man, however, is on the phone and he's got himself a little something going on, that is cause for concern, right, Davi?
I mean, yes, and if it's just adult films, then he should be inviting her. Like, if she's trying to initiate and he's rejecting her constantly, that's really hard, no matter what gender you are. That's difficult to deal with. And then he's sneaking off after hours and getting on the phone. So, like, if it was adult films, I'd be like, why aren't you inviting me, you jerk?
What if she just...
that doesn't have to be a lonely business. I can be a part of that. But if it's some girl that she, knows, or a coworker, then that's weird.
I'm just creating possible scenarios here. What if they watched together before, and she's like, I'm not into that. And that does nothing for me. You go ahead. If that's good for you, then go ahead and do it on your own.
Well, then she gave him permission, and she's about to find out he went and did it on his own.
And that would be fine. It's like the thing that gets me is the brushing her off constantly. Like, she is trying to initiate, like, if it was both and, like, he was with her and then he was doing his whatever adult film stuff on the side, whatever, that's fine, you do you. But the fact that he is neglecting his wife and being kind of cold shoulder and brushing her off when she's trying to rekindle the flame, like, that is problematic.
All right, so we'll check tonight. We'll see what's up.
Listen, it's The Burt Show.
All right, Davi is convinced she's got the curse of the wedding ring.
I do have a curse of a wedding ring, so I can't take it off. Like, bad things happen when I don't wear my wedding ring. And I have a history of this. The curse continues. I thought maybe it went away, but it is still there. It's like, it doesn't matter if I'm not leaving my house. The curse will follow me inside. The curse is coming from inside the house. Even if I don't, I leave my wedding ring somewhere in the house, I don't wear it for 24 hours, it'll be the worst 24 hours.
This, I have heard, happens to a lot of people. You take that wedding ring off, and the curse is an affair, and it's really weird. It's consistent.
It's the craziest thing. I just fell on him.
Yeah.
No.
Ain't gonna
happens.
No, it's honestly like if I don't have it, bad things happen. So do you remember a few years back, Bert probably does, you had me go out with an intern and find somebody who would accept money to lick a payphone, right? So like me and an intern went out and we found someone to lick a payphone. Yeah. We found two people to lick payphones for money from bottom to tippy top, and then I paid them, and then I was driving me and the intern back, and I saw the most horrendous crash. I was almost in it. It was this close to killing both of us, and it flipped cars. It was insanity on 400, and I got stuck in that traffic, and it was like 2 hours late getting back to you guys. That I looked down, didn't have my ring on, and I was like, that was a crap day. That's what started it, is phone licking and a crash, and then the rest of the day was garbage. And then the other time I did it, I was in Amsterdam for my birthday. I'm in the beautiful tulip gardens in Kokenhof, and there's birds everywhere, and it's kind of like drizzling out, so I got an umbrella, right? I don't know how, but at some point a bird pooped inside my umbrella, not on the top of it, inside of it. So I was walking around with this umbrella, I'm twirling it or behind my back, I'm just dancing around like so cute, and I'm rubbing bird poopy all over my back. And then I realized I left my wedding ring at the hotel, so I had bird poopy on my back because of the wedding ring curse, right? And then it was just a crap day from there. Last Wednesday was awful. And then at the end of the day, I realized what had happened. So first, I woke up in a fog because Ambien, suckers. Like that, I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to develop a friendship with this medication. It is difficult. Like if I take it after 6:30, I am dumb on the show the next day. I'm just regular dumb every day, but I am dumb.
How many hours of sleep are you getting on Ambien?
I'm still waking up a lot. That's what's weird. Like it knocks me out real fast, but I still wake up every hour. So they're trying to figure out how to get me more than 4 hours of sleep a night. We're getting there. But the Ambien put me in a real fog at work. So you guys are having a ball and laughing. And then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, like it's such a delayed reaction. And I was like, oh my God, I'm the worst. And then what happened? So I put these new wheels on my rolly chair that I'm in right now. And my house is kind of on an incline. So when I get up, this thing rolls the hell away and I don't know it. So then I go to sit down and I just bust my ass. So that happened. The chair just rolled away on me. It's like I live in a haunted house and somebody's just jerking me around. So I fell on my butt. At some point, I was frantic in the day and I looked down and my wrist is bleeding. Like I cut myself at some point and I was just bleeding because I was so frantic for this hour trying to get stuff done, work emails and whatnot. I went to brush my hair, put a hairbrush right in my eyeball. Cassie, have you ever done that? What is wrong with, like, as if I just learned depth perception, as if I'm an infant with no motor skills. I put a hairbrush right in my eyeball. And then I was like, God, I'm having a bad day. I'm going to treat myself to an Oreo. Guess what I did? I bit my lip off. I was bleeding about my lip. I'm such an idiot. I was just having a bad day. It kept getting worse. So I thought, I'm going to go take a bath. Like, I'm going to go sit in a bath, and then I'm going to go to bed early because I'm sick of this crap. And I went up
you
into...
didn't drown.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't.
You sound disappointed, Mo.
I know.
Hey, man, it like
He
that.
does. Let's discuss that later. No,
A toaster didn't fall in there, did it?
No,
Okay.
I went to draw myself a bath because I was like, I got to relax. I'm just having a bad day. It's fine. It's going to be fine. And I pushed back the shower curtain to start the water. The whole shower curtain comes down on my face. It hits me in the tippy top of my nose. Like the whole, has that ever happened to you guys? Your shower curtain is just like, F my life, and falls on your face. And I was trying to draw myself a bath and do the most relaxing of things with my Epsom salts and whatnot. And that hit me in the face. So I was like, F this day. And I went and got in bed at 4:30 p.m. and I hid under the covers. I didn't even turn the TV on. I was so sad. I was just in a dark room, a lump under the covers. And my husband came in like, what the hell's wrong with you? It's 4:30. And I was like, no more. I don't want to be perceived. The world doesn't deserve me anymore. I'm done. And he drew me the bath. And then I was in there and I was like, where's my wedding ring? It's the wedding ring curse. That's what happened. And then I couldn't rest until I found it. And now the world is back in alignment. I don't know what it is, but I can't take this sucker off.
Listen, It's The Burt Show.
If you guys have drama going on in your life and you are not sharing it with us, then we are out a show. So if you got something going on in your life or you need some advice and you want us to throw it out to Burt Show fam all around the country, you just got to share it with us at theburtshow.com. In this case, she is wondering if she is crushing her daughter's dream of being an actress. She wants to know, is she being an a-hole or not? Hey, Burt Show! That includes all you guys listening. First of all, love you all and have been a long-time listener for many, many years. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, want some advice for her 14-year-old daughter. Since the Stranger Things Season 3 release, she's been adamant she wants to be an actress. That upcoming school year, we signed her up for a local theater class, and they performed Annie. She was disappointed she didn't get the lead, but we told her this is all about the experience. The days of her performance, she radiated happiness. It was beautiful to see her in this element. Beginning January 2020, the theater class was supposed to do Mary Poppins, but changed to Shrek at the last minute. How do you go from Mary Poppins to Shrek? I love it.
That is range.
That is range, right? She was disappointed and didn't want to continue. Well, fast forward to lots of quarantine time. She said she wanted to try again and was determined to do whatever it takes to be an actress. After a long conversation, my daughter just wants us to take her to auditions. My husband and I have explained that she needs to have experience, build a resume, headshots, etc. We offered to enroll her in a local acting class or again in theater class. She said she didn't want to sing or dance in theater. She just wants to act. She didn't want to do either of our options. She just wanted us to take her on auditions. My husband and I refuse, so we're at a standstill. We've explained kids like Millie Bobby Brown are rare. Kids that get discovered and catapulted into fame. Most people have to work really hard for years, and even then some don't make it. We don't want to crush her dream, but she needs to have realistic expectations. Help! Guidance is appreciated as we're in uncharted territory here. And then there you go. So 1-855-BURT Show. First of all, I don't know the story of Millie Bobby Brown. I don't know if she was just plucked out of nowhere and then all of a sudden she was on Stranger Things, but I'm assuming she had some acting experience and was busting her ass the same as everybody else before she got that part. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. She had, Stranger Things was her big break, but she did have tiny roles in a couple movies beforehand. And, she had really long hair, and that's why it was like when we saw her as 11 with the shaved head, it was like, whoa. But she also had singing under her belt.
Okay.
I think the parents are on the right track. You do need, especially in this day and age, you do need to be very well-rounded. Your resume should have improv acting. It should have singing and theater, not just acting. You can't just be an actress anymore. It's better if you have dance experience, all kinds of stuff. You're more likely to get the job. So I think they're on the right track. But their daughter has so many fundamental years coming up of other people crushing her dreams. Her parents don't need to be the one doing it.
So I'm kind of going in the same direction you are. So I have a performing arts kid also, right? And getting a part is hard, really hard. You'll go through 100 auditions before one person says, you're perfect for the part. And it really doesn't have to do with your acting ability. In some cases, they're looking for a look or what have you. In this case, I think as a parent, less is more. If you have the time to take her to auditions, take her to the auditions, and the dream will be crushed by itself. She'll start to realize that, damn, I'm not getting any parts. Why aren't I getting any parts? And that's, I think, when as a parent, you can say, well, maybe you'll get some more parts if we can get you some more experience before you try out. So this thing, I think if you have the time to go from audition to audition, this should work itself out here through her failure. Mo.
I completely agree. I think life will definitely tell you when it's time for you to up and move into a different direction. As parents, I don't think you should ever do that. I remember wanting to be a comedian, and a lot of my family greeted me with they weren't very supportive because comedy is hard. It's not the easiest job in the world. They didn't want me to be embarrassed. They didn't want a lot of different things to happen, and they were just being family. But I also feel like people project with things that they don't feel like they can do onto you, and I felt like you follow your dreams 100%. You always believe in yourself, and you never quit. So they shouldn't stop or get in the whole way.
Ruth, good morning. You're on the Burt Show.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
I think the parents should take their daughter to an audition and let her experience. She'll either do really well, or what I'm guessing is she will fall on her face, and that might make her appreciate the amount of work she needs to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said also. Like, I think in a lot of cases, we're living in a world of like TikTok now and in Snap and quote unquote instant celebrity. That instant celebrity, there is nothing instant about it at all. When you get on the stage and you have success, you might just have learned about an actress's name last night and she became a big hit, but I assure you, there were hours and hours and hours of getting up early and auditioning and missing things with your friends that you really wanted to do. And she got to do all that stuff. And she's got to fail first to realize that's what she's got to get into, I think.
This is The Burt Show.
All right, so Mo now, you realizing like, dang it, I got to get out of this vicious cycle. Therapy time again.
Yeah, man. I had a therapy session for the first time in some months, since my grandma passed, actually, and I was dreading it. I did not want to go, and it turned out to be every reason that I did not want to go, but it was necessary. And so I've kind of talked about my journey with therapy on the show before. Growing up, it wasn't something that I was ever considering the majority of my life, because, I mean, that's kind of common amongst black people in the culture. You just don't go to therapy. I wasn't raised as therapy being an option. Typically, you were taught that if you go into therapy, it must be something wrong with you. So you kind of carry that mindset into your adulthood, and you stay away from it because you don't want to admit that something's wrong with you. When in reality, everybody can use therapy. You don't even have to go when something's wrong with you. Sometimes you go because you want to just keep up the maintenance and keep things on a good trail. B.
So you broke that barrier, though, that kind of mental barrier, and you went and you were feeling really good. So what was the reluctance on going back the second time, even though you admitted so many times publicly how much you were struggling?
It was my grandma. It was my grandma passing, because I knew I was going to have to face some truths that I wasn't ready to face. I mean, when I started going to therapy, I think I was in my 30s when I went for the first time. And it was hard at first. The first few sessions were difficult. I was still trying to find a therapist I could relate to. I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. And then you facing truths about yourself that stem all the way back to your childhood. Like I've spoken about my child abuse. I've spoken about things that have happened to me in my life. And I mean, as an adult, to have to face things that you thought you dealt with and you put away and you stored somewhere, and then all of a sudden these things start to surface, and now you face some things that you just never really wanted to. But it took a while for me to start to actually realize that I was becoming a better person, and I was able to appreciate the quality of life a lot more once I found a therapist that I can relate to. And it was great. For a while I was grooving. It was even a point in time when I couldn't wait to go. And one of the beautiful things about finding a therapist that I've been able to relate to is it's been consistent, and that's a great thing, because she knows you, she knows me, she knows like where things are coming from. But it also it can hurt, because she's able to pull things up that I've brought up in the past and use them against me for me to realize some changes that need to happen. And I'm like, I don't like someone knowing me that well and using me against me.
And they,
like,
they remember like everything.
Every single thing. And so I was riding high, and I was going to therapy often, and then my grandma passed. And I've had some loss in my life, but not one to that magnitude, not even close. And for a few months, man, it felt like I couldn't even breathe. You know, I'm still healing. I'm still trying to turn a lot of different corners. I'm learning the grieving process of someone when you lose someone that close to you. But therapy was in the back of my head the entire time. You have to go. Mo, you have to go face these truths. You have to face these emotions. But for a long time, I was at the point where I couldn't hear her name. I couldn't look at her picture. I couldn't do anything without just completely breaking down and becoming emotional and just not even want to engage in the day anymore. So for a while, I just wanted to stay in this dark place, to be honest. I wanted to heal in my own little way, on my own little time, and that just was the way that I wanted it to be. I knew it wasn't healthy, but I just wasn't ready. And just last week, I finally built up the courage where I said, okay, it's time. It's time for me to go in here and face whatever it is I need to face so that I can start this journey of truly healing, where I can look at my grandmother, think of my grandmother, and think of the memories and the sweet things and the beautiful things, as opposed to thinking of all the things that we won't have. And so I went there, and she wasn't as harsh as I thought she was going to be, because I know she was waiting for me. I was getting like the email emails, a lot like the dentist send out, hey, we ain't seen you in a while, hey, still here. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm cool. And, but I went in there and we started to talk and we spoke about a lot. But one of the things where she got me, she put me in a corner is, she brought up the fact of how she didn't feel like I was appreciating quality of life anymore, because she's like, I remember a session we had about a year ago when you came in and you said you were almost floored at the fact that so many good things were happening to you, right? Like you're in a great space. You're in one of the greatest spaces of your life. Things are going well for you professionally, financially. Your family is healthy for the most part. Your immediate family, you're healthy for the most part, and all of these different things. And then she said, when you're waking up, are you happy? I told her no. She's like, you don't find joy in just waking up. And I said, I'm not like depressed, but I'm not jumping out of bed screaming to the mountaintops either. I'm kind of just going through the motion. And she's like, you don't see that as an issue? And I'm like, no. And she's like, you have so many different things in your life.